Yo and hello everybody, Mike here, Baseball Collector. Today I'm going to reveal my ballot for the 2021 YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame class. And I'm doing it over here on my Baseball Collector channel because, first of all, I'm Baseball Collector. And this doesn't reflect any opinions or anything of Bench Clear Media. And so I thought it would be appropriate for me just to post this on my old channel, Baseball Collector. And again, I think maybe more of you that haven't come over to Bench Clear to continue to watch my content or whatever, at least maybe you'll see this here. And so I wanted to just put this out there. And I thought, I'll wait a while. I'll wait till kind of towards the end. And I decided, no, I'll just go ahead and put it out sooner rather than later, because if I'm encouraging everyone else to do ballots as they want to, then why shouldn't I put mine out? I'm ready to go. I've had my list ready for a while. Although, like everybody else, I struggled with narrowing it down to 10 channels that I wanted to nominate because there are so many great channels out there. But it was, for me and my criteria, again, everybody's going to have their own, set of variables that they look at when they're deciding how to vote. And for me, it became a question of, we're talking about the Hall of Fame here. And so longevity matters to me. Subs matters to me. It'd be like, well, subs don't matter. Do they really? Well, it'd be like saying, well, hits don't matter or home runs don't matter. Yeah, they do. If you're talking about the Baseball Hall of Fame as an example. So how much they interact with the community, how consistent are they at putting out content? What kind of content do they put out? Are they just doing the same old thing all the time? To me, that's, not as good as someone who mixes it up and adds different things and is creative in the way that they present information. That all matters to me. All of it plays into it. And you're going to find a theme here. There's so many, all of these channels. I think the most recent one started in like early 2018. So all of them have been doing it at least almost 3 years plus. And that was kind of a deciding factor for me in terms of narrowing my list down. I went, look, if I can choose between someone who's only been around a year and all things being equal, someone being around 3 years, I'm going to choose the person that's been around 3 years. The other guys that are newer will have their chance in future years. And so I wanted to make sure that I acknowledged the time and effort that it takes to maintain a YouTube channel over a long period of time. And a long period of time on this platform is, if you do it 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, you've been on here a long time and continuing to put out content and all of that stuff. So it's one thing. I think Alex Bowman 53 said it best. It's one thing to start a YouTube channel. It's another to maintain it and maintain it at a high level of knowledge and content and being involved in the community and all of those things. So let's just get straight to it. I've got 10 names here that I'm going to show. My first guy, and all of the links will be down below, is Bart, the PSA card guy. He currently has, as I'm recording this, 721 subscribers. And his first video, I went back and looked at everybody's channel and found their first video about sports cards, and it was April 26, 2013. So Bart, man, first of all, great dude. Bart serves in our militaries in the Air Force. So thank you, Bart, for what you do and what you sacrifice with your family to help protect us. And you're a great dude. Your collection is insane. You have so many slabs of all different stuff. You're primarily a football. He's primarily a football guy, which I respect, and I like hearing him talk about it. His 49ers and all the things that he does. His Jerry Rice collection, right? Super collection, insane. And he's got so much great baseball stuff too. So Bart is my first vote. Next up, Bill, the Hall of Fame collector. Bill currently has 624 subscribers, and his first video was January 4th, 2017. So he's coming up on, or he's just over 4 years now that he's been doing videos. And I like to think of longevity as like dog years. If you're 1 year on YouTube, it's like 7 years. So 4 years is he's 28, kind of thing. But Bill has been my friend even before YouTube, because he and I know each other on the Blowout Card forum, because we have a very similar interest, and that is collecting Hall of Fame autographs. And Bill is, he calls himself the Hall of Fame collector, and he really is. He does baseball autographs, basketball autographs, basketball Hall of Famer autographs. His stuff is just unbelievable. He's ironically now, sad to say, he's not the best Hall of Fame autograph collection on YouTube anymore. That has to go to Frank, and even Bill would admit that. So I'm not saying anything that Bill wouldn't know or agree with, but Bill has a just drop dead awesome collection. It is unbelievable. And I love seeing it and hearing him talk about it. Now he's gotten into 90s cards with Greg Maddux, and he buys Frank Thomas and Ken Griffey's and stuff like that. It's more than just baseball Hall of Fame autographs. But if you go back and just watch videos from in the past when he used to just do them and just kind of show one of everything or a couple of every player, blow you away. I'm telling you. All right. Next up is George from Diamond Yard Sports Cards, 643 subs. September 24th, 2017 was his first video. And I had to turn off my phone. So George, has one of those collections that you just envy. I certainly do anyway. I see his Jackie Robinson stuff, his vintage stuff. He has autographs. He has kind of a little bit of everything. And he buys super nice versions of each of those cards because he is, that's just how he does it. And his collection is absolutely insane. I love the way he talks about cards. He shares information and history, and it just all around huge asset to the community. Great channel, Diamond Yard Sports Cards. Next, Mr. Fisher Bike, Jason Willman, 858 subs. First video, 5/2, May 2nd, 2012. And that's only on this channel. Like, he used to have a channel even before that. But he's been doing it forever. And, Jason's one of those guys that over time, he and I have become good friends now, and just talked a lot and all that kind of stuff. And he's a huge, he started doing some different stuff, which is great. He has wife on a video recently. He loves his Movon, Nomar Garciaparra, all things Red Sox and all that kind of good stuff. But Jason's, he opens boxes and just kind of does all kinds of stuff. And just the longevity alone is what warrants a vote. But, he's close to 1,000 subs and just great channel. So Mr. Fisher Bike. And all these links, I'll put links down below because it's really important, especially a lot of the newer people that might watch this and you go, man, there's 3 new channels I've never heard of, or this or that. Well, it's important to put a link so that they can go check it out themselves and see if that's something that they want to start following. All right, next up, rated rookie here. Josh, rated rookie, 1.3 thousand subs. First video, March of 2017. So again, he's coming up on 4 years that he's been doing videos. All you have to do to get a feel for Josh is go watch his, top 100 cards in his collection video, top 50. I can't remember what he did. And you will go, yeah, because Josh buys awesome cards in not just baseball, but basketball and football and hockey and whatever. He's got everything, and his collection is unbelievable. He is a huge Dodgers fan, so his collection does kind of slant that way, and LA stuff. So Dodgers, he has a lot of Kobe stuff, which is not a bad thing, and just amazing collection. Josh and I met several years ago at the National, and just a great guy too. I mean, really down to earth guy, knows his stuff, just absolutely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Next up, Stove, 614 subs. First video, I think would surprise people, was August of 2017. So a little over 2.5 years, almost 3 years, or almost 4 years, 3.5 years, almost 4 years. Stove, investor, collector, dealer, for artist formerly known as Stove, whatever. Mark. Does Mark show a ton of cards on his channel? Not always. Is Mark probably the funniest guy in terms of creativity and uniqueness and things that he brings to this YouTube community? 100% yes. He and Bob Lewis, who do the Cardboard, B-O-R-E-D podcast, they're always coming up with creative things and always coming up with new ideas and ways to present information in the hobby. And I just absolutely love that. I consider it must watch for me. Anytime Mark puts out a video, he's just, he knows a lot about cards too. People think, oh, he doesn't show any cards, he doesn't deserve it. Well, that's not true. He knows a lot about cards, and he loves to learn about cards. He's very open-minded and wants to soak in information. And when he and I talk, and we talk reasonably regularly, and I'm always bouncing ideas off of him, and he's very responsive and absolutely Hall of Famer. And we got to get him in so he can be with Bob Lewis. They can both be Hall of Famers and that whole thing. All right, a few more. Next up North Collectors, 15,000 subscribers, August of 2017. They did their first video. Mike and Luke. Last year, they were tied actually with Dustin and Blake. And so what I used for the criteria for determining a winner was, or not a winner, but a person to be elected, was longevity. And it wasn't very much. It was like literally just a couple of months or a month difference between Dustin and Blake's first video and Mike and Luke's first video. But it was kind of cool that two father-son teams were tied for that 10th spot last year. And I just think this year we need to put them over the hump and get them in. Amazing channel. Obviously they're breakers primarily, but not breakers for, to break for other people. They break for themselves. They certainly divest themselves of all those cards, or some of those cards, so they can help fund their hobby, but they are not in it. They just do it to provide a service to the community. They try to, open a product, comment on a product. Is it good? Is it bad? What do they think? All those all kinds of stuff, from soccer and racing and basketball and football and baseball and you name it, they open it. And that's what I love about that, is they do so many different things. They're not pigeonholing themselves into one type of sport or whatnot. So I really respect what Mike and Luke do. Not to mention they are part of the Bench Clear Media team. So that I would have voted for them anyway, but that's awesome that they now do some of their content over on Bench Clear, and we're grateful to have them and love them being a part of it. Next up, Vintage Card Curator, little over 3,000 subscribers. First video, November 2018. Vintage Card Curator brings something to the hobby that I think is, into the community, into YouTube for the hobby, is he analyzes things in a way that is insightful. It's creative. It's, thought-provoking. And so I love high quality. I just love watching his videos and seeing what he's throwing out there. And he does it based on research and facts, and he's not trying to form an opinion. He's trying to just present information and say, hey, here's what's going on in all these different areas of the hobby in terms of pricing and slabs and whatnot. He'll throw out videos on that. I wish he did more content, but I quite frankly understand, because he's got, whenever he does a video, it's done well. And I bet it takes him a really long time to do the homework and put it together and all the editing and everything that he does. But it's Hall of Fame material. So check it out if you haven't. Next up, two more, by the way. Mikey. and 800 subs. First video about 3 years ago, February 2018. Geez, Mikey. Wow. Creative, funny, absolutely willing to share his opinion. And quite frankly, some of those opinions have been against some things that I've done in the past. And I have no problem with that. I don't mind everyone, if you have an opinion and you present a case for it and you can, and he doesn't do it in a mean, like that guy's a dick or anything. He just, hey, I don't agree with that for whatever reason. And I like that about some. I can respect that about people. And plus his collection's awesome. He's kind of changing his channel a little bit recently, but if you go look at his set building and getting in fat stacks of vintage cards to put in his binders and going through that process and his thought process and going to shows and shops and all the different things that Geez Mikey puts on his video. Plus his intro is fantastic on his videos. I literally chuckle every time I see it. It just makes me laugh. And I just think Geez Mikey has done enough to get a Hall of Fame vote from me. And the last guy that I am voting for my 2021 class is Jimmy Guns. About 1.6, a little over subscribers. First video in November of 2017. And Jimmy brings something really cool in the hobby too. He brings a swagger, so to speak, about him that is hard to ignore. If you've never met Jimmy Guns, you need to make it a point at a national or something if he's there and get a chance to shake his hand. First of all, he'll break your hand if you shake it because he's the size of a small mountain, but he is absolutely hilarious. He doesn't take anything too seriously. He involves his kids in the hobby. He does auctions, gun show auctions, and a lot of times he'll do charity gun show auctions, all kinds of stuff that he's doing for the hobby. And we need Jimmy Guns in the hobby. He is awesome for what he does. And it's funny just to watch him get drunk and go on a rant and, go nuts and curse and get mad or whatever he does. He's not afraid to put out there whatever he's thinking. And again, I respect that as well. And Jimmy's just a great guy. And I've met him a couple of times and just always enjoyed spending time with him and getting to know him. And we're kindred spirits, believe it or not. He and I, people would look at us and probably say, no way, but yeah, way. And that's the funny thing about this hobby is you can find common ground with just about everybody if you look hard enough. And the theme to take away is no matter what your background is, what your beliefs are, what your stances are on different things, believe it or not, there's common ground probably. And especially in this hobby, because even if it's stuff you're not interested in, you can respect what the other person's passion is and hopefully enjoy that with them and go down the journey with them. So that's it. That's my 10 nominations for this year's class of the YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame. Thanks so much, everybody, for watching. I hope you have a great day and always keep collecting.